Make sure to check your blind. Make sure to check your blind spot.
Your dad was telling me
Do a
about
360.
Oh, there's a car. No, it's not like this is not going to the DMV where they're gonna show this. This is me talking about like social issues, like what's wrong with driving in Canada, you know?
Oh, okay. So what is
So-
wrong with driving in Canada?
Well, everything. Like we shouldn't have accidents, you know? Like the fact that we have accidents means that not everybody knows how to drive, and
Yeah.
if not everybody knows how to drive, then why do people drive? Right? Like driving is a privilege.
Go to Petro.
Okay, where is it?
Be a safe driver. Kothra. Where you literally work right by it.
How do I?
Well, you
Oh,
work.
Fuck it. I gotta go this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Safe driving number 1. Make sure to stop at stop signs.
Oh yeah. Almost missed it too.
I knew you were gonna miss it.
I'm stopping here.
It's okay. You're good.
Like it's like I can't tell you how many times. It's not like theft number 1 for safe driving. Like it's like I don't know. I got to talk about the social issue that is the fact that nobody can drive.
Yeah. People are
Right.
rushing to get to where they need to go. They're not paying attention, and they only care about where they're going, hoping that everyone else is following the rules.
Yeah.
Right? They
Like-
assume that everyone else is following the rules. If 1 or 2 people aren't, then that's when
You're right.
things happen.
Yeah, your dad was telling me like he saw a stupid accident today.
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah, like it was at Dixie Mall, okay? And some guy was backing out very slowly, right? So he had control. And then a minivan was just driving by very slowly again, so she had control. But nobody was looking at where they were going, right?
Yeah.
So you've got one person who seems like he knows what he's doing, right? He's backing up. You've got another person who seems that she knows what she's doing, right? Because she's just going. She's looking for a parking spot. And then they hit each other, right? And
Yeah.
his bumper gets ripped off. And she drives another 500 meters with his bumper, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. And it's like, you're supposed to know this, right? You
Yeah.
drive every single day. You're supposed to know this.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen multiple accidents happen just because people don't know simple rules like straight before turner. Everyone's at an intersection. They assume that they have the right of way.
Yeah.
You go just because you're rushing, or you think that everyone is just going to let you. One person's not paying attention and they're rushing as well, and then bam.
So, I mean, like, one of my main ideas for improving driving in Canada is the fact that we have to get retested, right?
Yeah.
So, people in Canada, right? People, I don't know. All I know is Ontario, right? So, once you're 16, you get your G1, right? You go write a test. There's no driving thing, and then you get your learner's permit, your G1, which is good because you have to have an experienced driver in the car with you. And then as soon as you get your G2, as soon as somebody deems that, yeah, you know how to drive, you can drive highway, even though you weren't allowed to previously, unless somebody else was in the car, right? You're just allowed to run wild by yourself, right?
Yeah.
And that's being off, like that's going off the premise that you can make a 3-point turn,
Yep.
right? You don't know how a car's going to react at 100 kilometers an hour, right? And most people don't, right? I've
Yeah.
seen people cut so sharply into lanes because they don't understand the turning differences when you're going that fast, right? Like when you're going 50, you can turn the wheel like that and then make a turn. 100 miles an hour, you're gonna flip the car if you do that.
Yeah.
Right? And not a lot of people know that. So if you go back and get tested, right? That stops people from being able to not know.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't know the rules of the road, you're not penalized other than when you're caught breaking them.
Yeah.
Right? People don't know how to end up in the right lane when they turn. Right? When you're turning left, people just drift into the far right lane. Yeah, when you're turning right, people just cut off everybody turning left. Like, it's not okay, and that's why we have accidents, right? Another thing, speed, right? If we can catch speeders without having policemen wasting their time patrolling the 400 series, like the 407 has stuff set up so that they can catch people going on the 407,
Yeah.
right? And it's the transponders, and also the thing that reads the transponders. It's a big, what is it called?
Camera?
No. Like it crosses over the highway, right?
Yeah.
And it has all these cameras on it, right? And so if you're out of Ontario, you don't have a transponder, you still get billed. It just takes a picture of your license plate.
Yeah.
Why can't we have that when we're doing something illegal?
Yeah. There actually, see, there are, I noticed on some lights, on some, in some intersections, there's little cameras and they'll catch you, they'll bill you the, I guess you could say the fine.
Right.
But it's not there as often as it should be.
Yeah,
And-
we, like, are you talking about like red
Yeah.
light?
Yeah.
See, that's different, right? If you're going through a red light, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? That's a completely different problem though. Because if you're going down the highway at 130,
Yeah.
you can sideswipe somebody and just destroy everybody's day,
Yeah.
right? You could like a 10-car pileup because you just wanted to get to work a little faster, right? And people have this security that they think they have just because they don't see a cop beside them,
Yeah.
right? And you notice that as soon as everybody does see a cop and everybody slows down to 95, right? Which is also very dangerous. Because if I'm going 110 miles an hour right behind this guy, right? I'm leaving space, but I don't think that he's just going to slow down 40 kilometers an hour because he sees a cop and he doesn't want to get like a $10,000 ticket because he's speeding.
Yeah.
Then I could rear-end him.
I think, honestly, something that we should do, and I was talking to one of my friends about it today, the fact that you get your G, you get your G1, you get your G2, we don't have to retake our test up until the age of 60 or so. Within a few years, my driving instructor even told me, come back before you take your G test because you'll most likely forget the rules of the road. And it's true. You get lazy, you take one hand off the wheel when you're driving, you forget things. So you should really have to retake your test maybe every 5 or 10 years, right?
That's my idea. That's what I've been saying. Because if you don't have to, once you get your test, right? Once you have your license, once you have your G, there's nothing to stop you. Except if you get in a car accident.
Yeah.
If you drinking and driving over the speed limit, a cop catches you doing something illegal, then you get points towards your license. You get so many points, your license gets taken away, right? But that's very it's not a good system because then you're catching them after the problem has occurred.
Yeah.
Right? Now we're catching people that are dangerous drivers, right? But they've already caused accidents. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If we tested them every 5 years, right? That would make people be more conscious of how they're driving, right? And also maybe reward not so bad drivers. So instead of waiting a certain amount of time for them to get their license back, right? Which I know is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wait a certain couple years before your license gets renewed, right? Or all the points taken off of it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Instead of that, we could just have you retake the test and then you get your license back depending on if you pass or not.
Exactly.
Right?
That makes sense.
That does make sense,
Yeah.
right? I'm so glad we agree.
Ow. Give me a
Please
sec.
remain seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times.
Oh, don't go. Thank you.
And now it's time for the extreme close-ups.
If we're all better drivers, if we all wait that extra half a second, if we all leave 10 minutes before we have to be somewhere, then we won't have accidents, right? If we're all in less of a hurry, if we're all more educated, right? If we have that incentive to be better drivers because that's what's going to keep us alive, then we'll be fine. Right?
Yeah.
Because people, like, they run off the fact that, well, like, I gotta, like, they drive like they're in a third world country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, there's a space, I have to get it, right? There's nothing else I care about, I have to get that space, right? I have to be in the left lane, I gotta turn left here, right? If I don't get this light, then I can't get another light because that's too difficult. I can't think like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the GPS can recalculate, so can you.
It's,
Okay, I have to go. Thank you, Ford. That's another thing. Yellow means slow down, right?
yeah.
And people are like, well, why are you slowing down for yellow lights? Because people have to clear the intersection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not me being a little scaredy cat, right? Not going, oh, I gotta get this light. That's how people get killed,
Yeah.
right? If you're turning left, if I'm in the intersection and it turns yellow, my first responsibility as a driver is to clear that intersection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because another set of drivers are gonna go. The guy that hasn't even entered the intersection, he's a couple meters away. Do you know what his responsibility is? To stop.
Yeah.
Do you know what he does? Instead of slowing down and actually getting to the line at a respectable speed, he speeds up 20 kilometers an hour more than what he was doing, right? So now he's 30, 40 kilometers over the speed limit trying to get this light. And where does that leave me? That leaves me in the intersection because I have to yield to this guy who's speeding through the intersection, leaving me in a bad situation, leaving everybody, pedestrians, everybody in a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so that he can get to his destination a couple seconds faster. Right? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Right? It doesn't make sense to anybody else. Nobody can give me a good reason why people get into accidents. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope my ideas help. Right? So that's it.
E-talk for today.
Yeah.